Hi, and welcome to Organizational Behavior, MBA592, Winter 2022. I'm going to give you a course overview and help you get started with this course in 20 minutes or less. So let's first review the announcements. So the first announcement is about getting started. So I have this video here that you're currently watching, and this is just some general advice on how to get started and how to do well in the course. Each week, you should read the assigned chapters, watch the assigned lecture videos corresponding to the chapters, complete the discussion board questions, and work on the homework manager, quizzes, and assignments. We'll go over that in a minute. Let's just go to the next announcement. The next announcement is about the homework manager. So the homework manager is something that you buy for the semester, and it comes with an e-textbook. So you get the homework manager and textbook together, and this is a very important course ID you'll need when you sign up for the homework manager. And we're going to talk about that in detail later, but this is where the course ID is. Now, to be careful, do not sign up for a temporary account. If you sign up for a temporary account, I will not be able to see you or any progress you make. The people at Pearson are not stupid. They're not going to let you sign up for a 2-week trial account and then have you finish all the work and then get a grade for the course. So they basically block me from seeing anything you're doing until you have an official account. So stay away from the temporary account. And usually for some reason, it's very difficult for students to transfer their temporary account to a permanent account. And oftentimes, whatever work they've done in the temporary account is lost, and they have to redo it when they buy the permanent account. So just a word of warning about that. Now, there's also an announcement. There are two papers in the class. One is due on the 14th of January, and one is due on the 21st of January. These two papers are fun little research papers tied to the course material. The first paper is the CEO profile paper, where you pick an exciting CEO and you talk about their career and the companies they've started or the company they're currently working at and their particular philosophies or things that made them unique or successful. And then we have the second paper, which is the organization culture paper, which talks about a particular culture at a company that you choose. And today it's been more interesting today, the divergence of company cultures. It used to be the companies were all very similar in how they treated employees and the atmosphere they created. But today, companies have been creating more unique atmospheres. And with the current work at home and the great resignation happening, there's a constant changeover or evolving culture at a lot of companies. So this is another very interesting paper to write. What's important to note that this is a graduate course, so I expect your papers to be properly cited and footnoted and have correct reference lists. I do give you a list of various different citation styles you can follow, and when you write your papers, you basically should have sources for facts that you quote. So if you're going to quote something like Elon Musk works for, is the CEO of Tesla, and his personal wealth is, 500 billion, then you should cite where you got that source of 500 billion. That basic, graduate writing level citations and references should be included. I don't want to see any undergraduate level papers where you just cut and paste a web link and think that that's a citation. Now, also following up on these two papers, I do have a pretty involved rubric to help you understand how I grade the paper. So I have 5 criteria I look at, and I grade you from A to F, and then I basically create an average of these five elements. So look at these 5 elements when you're writing your paper and think about them as you're creating your paper. There are no late assignments, so be very careful to get your assignments done early. It's one of the reasons I'm opening up the class a couple weeks early, so you can get a good handle catch up and get ahead of yourself on these assignments before the class starts. And here is the basic class schedule where I go over what we're going to do every week for 3 weeks, the chapters we're going to cover, the lectures that you're going to watch, some of the activities, discussion board, homework manager, and the reports that are due. So I kind of lay out each of the week in pretty good detail down here. So those are the announcements. I've tried to keep the announcements to what's most critical to your success and most important to know. So if you get a chance, re-review those announcements. Let's move on to the next button here, the syllabus. So the syllabus is, our contract basically. And, this is a textbook where you'd be using the 14th edition of this textbook. When you buy it, the homework manager, and here's the course ID for the homework manager, the textbook comes with the homework manager, so that saves you some money. It's an asynchronous course, which I just explained before. So when you have time, read over the course description of objectives. Basically, the learning goals, the objectives of this course, I'm trying to have you understand the tools and techniques corporations use when they're trying to improve their organization. So a better understanding of the organization, the dynamics, certain different methodologies, organizations. So it's a study of people at work. So how companies are organized, the behavior of the individuals in the organization. It's a very dynamic field because people are very dynamic and they have a lot of different wants and needs, and companies want to keep employees happy to generate better work, which results in better profits. So there's a lot to unpack here and discuss. And you may have worked in some pleasant work environments, some dysfunctional work environments. I'm sure you have a lot to add. Now, so if I move through this, let's go down to the grading. So we have the culture report, which is 200 points, the CEO profile report, which is 200 points, the discussion board questions, which are 400 points, the homework manager quizzes, which are 700 points, the homework manager assignments, which are 500 points. So the total class is out of 2,000 points. If you divide that by 20, you can convert that to a letter grade upon completion of the course. Okay. And this is just a little bit more background on the reports and the weekly schedule. Just kind of some of the stuff is repeated on the announcement. So when you get a chance, read over that syllabus. Shoot me an email if there's anything you don't understand. You may want further have some further discussion on it, but I try to make it a pretty straightforward as possible. Now the PowerPoints, here is where I keep the PowerPoints for that are tied to the videos for the course. And as far as the videos, if you click this class video lectures, it'll pop you on over to YouTube, and the video lectures will be here in order of the chapters. So here I just have the titles of the chapters, and we have a couple bonus videos down here that I tie to some of the discussion questions that we'll be talking about later. So these are all the videos that you'll be working with in the course. And I make it very easy to pop this button over to YouTube. And what's great about YouTube, why I use YouTube, is because you can easily watch that on your TV, on your phone, on your tablet, on your MacBook, on your PC, on your, on the go. If you have it on your phone, you can play it while you're walking. I don't suggest you watch it while you're walking, but if you want someone who'd rather listen to it, it's all sort of right there. It's pretty convenient. Most convenient platform with the fewest amount of bugs and playback. Now let's move on to the homework manager. So if you click here for the homework manager, it will pop you over to the homework manager, and this is where you would register as a student. So you want to register as a student and make sure you have an email address. You can use whatever email address you want, but make sure that you use your proper name that is the same name that would appear in Blackboard or Solar, so it's easier for me to grade you at the end of the course. And remember, don't sign up for the temporary account, because the temporary account will causes more trouble than it's worth. And I won't even have an idea that you've registered for the homework manager if you get the temporary account, because it doesn't show me. Okay, so when you're ready to register, you click here. Remember that course ID number I had talked about on announcements? This is the course ID number. We want to take that, plug it in here, and then continue to register. Either you might have an existing account or you might need to create an account, but I just want to make sure you're connected to MBA592 Winter 2022. Okay. Now let's see when you're actually in the homework manager what it looks like. So when you're in, here's the important parts of the homework manager. One is you have the Pearson text. So in the Pearson text, you click on here and then you click on view textbook, and then you get the Pearson textbook that we're working with. And this is great because it's a table of contents, so you can quickly go to any area you want. If there's an exam question, you need to look up something quick, there's a search tool where there's going to be a search bar, a notebook. So there's a lot of quick and easy things to do here when you're reading the online textbook. And again, this will work on a tablet or a phone or Mac or PC, and it's just an easier way to kind of get through the material. Now also your assignments. This is the other important area. So in the assignments tab, everything's listed in date order, chapter order of the class. So we have a bunch of things due on the 8th, then the 15th, and then the 22nd of the class. So you basically kind of start off at the list. The first one is just getting to understand the basic elements of My Finance Lab, and then you move into various assignments. Now, some of these assignments are fun, interesting. You know, for example, this one's a video assignment where you watch a video here. So here's a TWZ leadership. So you're going to watch, part of a video here, and then you answer questions related to the video. So now it's not as easy as it seems because this video is tied to the chapter material. So if you don't read the chapter before you do the video assignment, you're not going to understand how to choose the selections or what the answers are based on the video. So the video is only part of it, but it ties closely to chapter 12. So I would suggest reading chapter 12 before trying to do the homework. Some of the homeworks would be a mini sim. So here's a mini sim on leadership. So you click on here and we get a little simulation on leadership that you kind of walk through each of the questions and problems, and then eventually, let's see, as you walk through it, eventually they'll have a question for you to answer on the progress, and then so they're going to talk about a couple different theories, so you need to know your theories when you submit it. Again, tied to the chapter pretty closely. Okay, so there's 2 mini sims. There's another one here on leadership and teams. So this is another, and each of these simulations are different in what they're covering. They give you the learning objectives and the scenario, and it's just a good way to reinforce with a little more real world examples. Okay, and then you have your quiz for chapter 12. So when you start the quiz, it's it's a test. So you're going to go in and you have they're generally 25 questions, and you just how this works. You select on what you believe is the answer, and you just hit next. You go to the next question, and you keep going till you get to the end of the quiz, and then you click on Submit Quiz. So again, this is closely tied to the textbook, and I'm just selecting anything to kind of move through, and then when you get to the last question, you click Submit Quiz, and you hit this Submit the Quiz. Okay. All right. And then that's the end of chapter 12, and you move into chapter 1. So with chapter 1 is just a video assignment, and then a quiz, and then chapter 16, which has a couple of additional assignments. There's a personal inventory assessment assignment, which is another thing that's sort of going to look at, take a personal assessment of your multicultural awareness. So this is just a survey, and then there's some results. This is a fun little organizational behavior types of personality quizzes, tests, awareness. It's just kind of fun. They're usually not that hard. Another video assignment, a sim. So you get where this is going, and you just follow this list down for each of the chapters. So let's go back. And then once you've worked on your assignments, and again, be very careful not to miss any assignments because I don't allow any late assignments. So do them early, not the night before. It's a very undergraduate thing to do your work the night before. So make sure you get a head start on that. Now, if we move to results, here in results, we can see your progress on your homework, your quizzes. You can review your results. You can't review the quizzes until they're actually done and completed. Here is where all of your assignments will be. So you might want to save the entire course. and you'll be able to see all your assignments, including the discussion board questions I'll bring over to the grade book by the end of the course. Okay, so let's go back to Homework Manager, Blackboard, rather. Okay, so that's the Homework Manager. So now let's move to discussions. So discussion boards is another area where you're going to have weekly discussion questions. So we have 3 discussion questions here that when you're ready, so this one's going to have here a question about your business experience and this particular question, what motivates you to do your best level of work? So it's sort of a personal question about your work experiences. So when you're ready, I would say you can probably even highlight this. We'll go click. So that's discussion question 1. You click here, and then you're going to create a thread. So you're not going to be able to see the other student responses until you create your thread, and you'll get the same question will be up here. So if you want to, you could put your name. And you can say something like discussion question week 1, and then you put your response. And you can cut and paste in this box if you want to work in Word and hash it out there, and then you can come back here and post your response to this question. And then when you're ready, there is a submit button. So you can click submit, and then now your thread will show up. So when another student wants to, after they have posted their original response, they can go in and click on your response, read what you've done, rate your response, and then reply. And this one, we might want to say something like, you did not answer the question at all. So this is a little joke. Submit that. So now there's a thread. So these are the threads that come up as you're working, and then this is how we create a class discussion online. Which by now you should be fairly used to this. In the beginning, 10 years ago when I first started doing this, people were not. I took a lot of training to get them used to how to do the discussion threads and discussion boards. But now, after most of the classes being online last year, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with how to do this. So we're going to go here. I'm going to just delete this because it's just an example thread. Now, in the discussion boards, there are some instructions. So for the week 1, this is due to be open until Friday, January 7th. And what I would like you to do is post an original response. Hopefully, I would like you to post the original response on Monday or Tuesday. And then during the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can post your replies. And I would like to have you make at least 3 replies that are good, that are a contribution to other people's posts, meaning that it's not just, oh, good job, or I like what you wrote. It's you want to, post should be, around 100 words. The original post where you're answering the discussion questions can be a lot longer, but when you reply to somebody, they should be around 100 words, some reply of some significance adding to the discussion, or discussing about what they have written should be in order. Okay, so we have 1 discussion board question per week. Now we additionally have these assignment papers. So this is the discussion board. You don't post anything here. This is just saying the discussion board is 400 points. And let's make sure it is. Yes, 400 points. Good, that still works. So this is just reminding you about the discussion board. But you also have, this is where you have the 2 paper assignments, the CEO profile paper and the culture paper, and their due dates. So what you basically do is you find a CEO leader or a leader of or a president of a company. Please try to make it a public company. So it's easier for me to follow and understand what the company is. I don't want a paper about the president or CEO of a small company you work for that has 30 employees. That's not what we're looking to do here. We're looking for you to investigate, hopefully try to pick a company you'd like to work for and investigate the leader of that company. Now, the CEO profile paper and the culture paper should be based on two different companies. So if you pick, for your CEO leader report, Elon Musk, you can't do Tesla as your culture, your paper culture. All right. Now, to submit this, you just click on this link up here, and you can view the rubric again. And then when you scroll down here to click on Browse My Computer, and this will show you you can go and find the file and attach the file and hit Submit. Fairly simple stuff, which I think you should be pretty used to by now. And the same thing with the culture paper. You click on the culture paper to submit the answers to this question. And, the reports are typically 4 to 5 pages in a professional, graduate level written manner with a reference list and cited properly. And these are meant to be, sort of interesting and fun types of papers that help you investigate and learn about companies. And like I said, try to choose leaders you admire or companies you'd like to work for. It makes the papers a little bit more interesting. We have My Grades. So in the grade book, you're going to have the culture paper grade, the CEO paper grade, and the discussion board. I will move all of these grades over to my management lab when they're complete. So you have your grade in just one area. So when you click on your results, you have all your grades here, even for the stuff you're doing on the My Management Lab. It's really just Pearson Homework Manager, which is this Homework Manager ebook. So you can see your final grade there. So that's how the grade will be calculated. Okay, well, best of luck with the course. I think you're going to do great. I think you're going to have a lot of fun, and it's a very interesting course, and I wish you the best of luck. Thank you, and take care.